103.5 FM.
It's 12 o'clock. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Starr Midday News. And coming up in the bulletin, residents of Adabraka Central Mosque in Accra living in a state of fear following incident of repeated daylight robberies in the area. We'll bring you the details. Also in the bulletin, economists refuse Bank of Ghana governor claim about favorable economic turn as he questions the central bank's strategy to halt the cedi depreciation.
We have not. Where is that soft landing? We have not. And if it was possible, you think the governor wouldn't have done it long ago? We are talking about your currency currently around 17 or so.
Residents of Boku and surrounding areas in the Upper East region remain on edge as violence escalates, resulting in more fatalities. And on the campaign trail on the Starr Midday News, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama cautions against deployment of military and national security to polling stations and collation centers during the December 7 elections.
There must therefore be no deployment of the military or armed national security operatives at any polling station or collation center. The Electoral Commission must be impartial.
Meanwhile, flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has cautioned the youth against voting for ex-President Mahama, warning a vote for him will be detrimental to the country's economy.
In this fourth industrial revolution, how can we have a leader who doesn't appreciate the value of digitalization in a digital global economy?
Details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 45 minutes. Stay tuned in. Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in-depth, in touch. You're welcome once again to the Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM. Let's start off on the notes of security. And residents of Adabraka Central Mosque in Accra are living in a state of fear following Saturday's robbery incident. Now, armed men over the weekend injured one person amidst sporadic gunshots during a robbery operation. A similar incident occurred less than 3 months ago. Now, speaking to Starr News, residents expressed deep-seated fear, suggesting that a third occurrence is imminent. Their apprehension lingers as uncertainty grips their thoughts. Have a listen to some of them who spoke to Starr News.
I can't do anything because I never see that in physical like this before. We were here before they come attack the jewelry shop and the car that they have taking the money from. But that thing you have to take care of what happened because it can come, maybe they will come and shoot someone here. So we want safety here. Serious.
So when you reported for work this morning, how is the general feeling here?
The same thing.
Were you able to work well?
As you came, you see that how we are working, so we are not feeling happy to work. But it's our shop. It's not happening to our shop, but it's the same shop. Because we are motor mechanic. So I can say we are not feeling happy like this to work, because if you see each other working now, then we are feeling happy because they have closed their shop. They are not working. So we too we are not feeling happy at all.
Meti ano misro say anything I talk can happen again because first second yeah I'm control. Meti misro say me try say me share inside. I mean to me share inside so all the time because at my age, me pet sad,
How do you feel? How do you feel with this thing happening here? How do you feel as an elderly person?
misro anything I talk can happen again. Yeah, me feel it's third time there ebe because exchange of bullets can happen.
You had there some residents there. The last person you had essentially saying that she is scared and they are worried that there could be another incident where there will be exchange of fire and more people will be caught up in that exchange and people may end up being injured or losing their lives. And so they are very, very worried in relation to what transpired there over the weekend. Let's speak to Calvin Powell. He is with GH1 TV and Starr FM. He's gone to that specific location to find out find out more in relation to that incident and also engage the residents there. So, Calvin, we've heard from two of the residents. They say that they are very worried. Is that a general sentiment in the area per your interaction?
Exactly. The entire vicinity is engulfed in fear. That is what is on the lips of anyone you speak to. Because according to them, it has never happened. But for same incident to occur in a space of 10 months, they are quite bewildered and they don't know when the third incident will happen. And the reason why they are expressing this fear is that some of them were able to actually look or see those that were involved in the robbery. And they are confirming that they were the same people that came in July. So if the police have been notified of the first incident and they couldn't do anything, within 3 months, the same people have come to perpetrate the same crime, then it means that security is totally on the decline in the area. So they are actually holding uncertainty view as long as this area security is concerned.
They say that this is the second time it has happened, and some of the residents also tell you that they were able to recognize some of these individuals, and they believe that these are the individuals that were there in July, and they've made a return. Did you see any visible security being beefed up in the area as a result of this incident?
Not at all. Not at all. I've engaged them on that call, and they said Saturday after the incident, the personnel from the criminal investigation department came to actually take some footages and all for their investigations. And since then, not even a patrol vehicle has gone through the area since Saturday evening till this morning. I happened to speak to the owner of the shop as well and his brother, who they are into joint business, and they tell me since the incident happened, though they've been in touch with the police, but for them to come around and maybe just to calm people's fears and all, they've not been here since Saturday. So that has been a complaint of everyone. And according to the owner of the shop, the last 3 months incident, he keeps going back and forth with the police, and what he's been telling him is that they are on it, but he's not disappointed in them. He hopes that they will be able to get to the root of this issue and get the perpetrators arrested.
Thank you very much. Calvin Powell is with GH1 and Starr News, and he's visited that particular scene or area where the weekend's robbery took place. From what we understand, the robbers made away with about 6 million Ghana cedis cash. Still on issues relating to security, while residents of Boko and surrounding areas in the Upper East region, they remain on edge as violence escalates, resulting in more fatalities. Now, last Saturday, gunmen attacked a Toyota saloon car carrying students of Congo Senior High School en route to Bolga after being transferred to the vehicle due to a fuel shortage in their original car. The students were stopped by gunmen near Boku SHS, ordered out, and witnessed the driver being killed and the car set ablaze. The incident follows the recent imposition of a curfew, or the incident comes amidst a curfew in the area. Well, joining us over the phone now is a freelance journalist in the area, in Boku to be specific, Kasim Idrisu. Thank you so much, Kasim, for joining us here on the Star Midday News. So this afternoon, how are things looking in Boku?
Yes, this afternoon, Boku is calm. We mostly the case is about to return. This is on the process of returning. But normally, when it's happened this way, we don't know what the youth are planning for. That we've seen a lot of security personnel on ground, the military, the police, every security person in town are all trying their possible best to make sure they bring back to Boko itself. So there's nothing. We haven't heard anything bad this morning. And then as I'm speaking to you now, the whole place is people are trying to go to their shops, see whether they can get something for their daily bread and other things. So this is what is happening here in Boku. All right.
Visible boots on the ground?
Yes, please. If you look around, everything is okay.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. We're grateful for your time. You had us speak to a freelance journalist in the Boku area, Kasim Idrisu, giving us an update with regard to the situation in the area. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Today we're going to 12:45, I beg your pardon, and we'll be doing that until the polls are over. We're doing that so that we can spend some good amount of time to track where exactly the various contenders of the upcoming polls are and how their campaigns are going. Like I said, this is still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's switch our attention now to issues relating to the economy. Well, economists and Professor of Finance Godfred Bokpin is questioning the Bank of Ghana's move to address the cedi's depreciation. The central bank says it is taking proactive steps to bolster its reserves to address the cedi's depreciation against major foreign currencies. Now, currently, the cedi trades at nearly 17 cedis to a dollar, marking a significant year-to-date depreciation of almost 24%. Now, commenting on the phenomenon, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, explained the move is crucial for mitigating fluctuations in the cedi's value and ensuring economic stability, especially with the festive season approaching.
2 days ago, and the assessment there of the global economy is not very different from what we are seeing in Ghana. The main assessment being that we've been able to have a soft landing. A soft landing in the sense that we've been able to bring global inflation down without much of a huge cost to growth. Prices are still high. So people say that, well, inflation has come down, but when you go to the market, the prices are still high. Remember again that inflation is just a measure of the rate of change of the price level. It does not mean a fall in prices. So you would not go to the market and find that prices of goods and services are falling. The issues of the exchange rate, financial sector issues. I think that the good news is that we are making progress. And the developments we are seeing are not very different from what is happening in other jurisdictions. We have $7 billion in foreign exchange reserves. If I want to drive the dollar CD rate to 10 cedis to the dollar, I can do it tomorrow. But what about the day after tomorrow? So we are balancing various factors, trying to build reserves, try to manage the exchange rate.
You had the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, but Professor of Finance Godfrey Bokwin believes that there is a disconnect between government and the economy and the people. According to him, the so-called soft landing being touted by the governor has come at a high cost. He spoke to me on the Morning Star.
We have not. Where is that soft landing? We have not. We are talking about the most expensive economic recoveries in our entire history since independence. How could that be soft landing? What would we describe as soft landing when pensioners had to make sacrifice at that old age for Ghana to have a fresh start? How is that soft landing when the domestic debt exchange actually forcefully took away from investors 61 billion cedis in fiscal relief? How is that soft landing when we impose haircuts on Eurobond holders? Any central bank governor can decide to reduce the rates, right? Burn it through your reserves. But that's not management. And if it was possible, you think the governor wouldn't have done it long ago? We are talking about your currency currently around 17 or so. But of course, I admit the challenges. And on the average, in as much as the central bank has worked hard over the years, okay, the problem has come largely from fiscal recklessness. I think it's not only the governor, that is the disconnect between managers of our economy and then the reality on the ground.
You had the Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfrey Bokwin. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Stories you've brought your way so far. Residents of Adabraka Central Mosque in Accra say they're living in a state of fear following incidents of repeated daylight robberies in the area. Also, we have brought to you economist and professor of finance Godfrey Bokwin refutes Bank of Ghana governor's claim about favorable economic turn around as he questions the central bank strategy to halt the city's depreciation. And also residents of Boku and surrounding areas in the Upper East region remain on edge as violence escalates, resulting in more fatalities. And later at 12:30 on the campaign trail, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama cautions against deployment of military, the national security to polling stations and collation centers during the polls. Meanwhile, his opponent, Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is cautioning the youth against voting for ex-President Mahama, warning a vote for him will be detrimental to the country's economy. All that coming up on the campaign trail at 12:30. Stay tuned in. Let's turn our attention now to the courts. You're welcome back. The Electoral Commission has accused disqualified independent presidential candidate Samuel Appiah Dankwa of forging signatures to witnesses who endorsed his presidential forms submitted to the commission. Let's go over the telephone line and speak to our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa, for more on this. Mutala, give us the details. The EC says he forged signatures?
Well, Andy, that was what the argument of Justin Amenuvo, who represented the Electoral Commission, was submitting before the court. And before he made that particular point, lawyers of Samuel Appiah Dankwa told the court that, look, at some point in time in 2016, the Supreme Court made it clear and allowed the EC to give Dr. Papa Indom the opportunity to correct. Even that one came later part in November. And so there's more time for the EC to make correction, for the EC to go ahead and then make sure that they print those ballots with their client on board. They also made reference to the point that, of course, the Madam Rikiadonko's situation has even fortified their case by giving them more time to be able to, for the EC to come out and reprint the ballot papers. So the EC should not rush into coming out or to including their client by way of giving them the opportunity to do the necessary corrections and first sort. Then lawyers for the EC came in and said, look, if you look at the form that was resubmitted by the applicant hearing, that is Samuel Apiadankwa and his lawyers, everything shows that there were some of the people who endorsed the form whose signatures looked like you were forged. He eventually said that the applicant sat in his room and then signed signatures for others. He gave the court a scenario by saying that, my lord, if you are given a document to sign and you realize that your name has been spelled wrongly, will you go ahead and sign that document after or you wait for the corrections to be done for you to endorse that? And the court said, I would rather sign, or I will sign to a document that had the correct spelling. And he said that was the nature of the form that was submitted. There were names that were spelled wrongly. There were people who are of the same code numbers but different names, and they realized that the applicant herein sat in his room and forged signatures of people who hitherto were the same, two different people, but their code are the same. The court has since adjourned the case to 14th of November to make a ruling as to whether to injunct the EC until the substantive matter is dealt with, or to allow the EC to go ahead with the printing of the ballot paper. Remember that because of Madam Eka's demise, the EC has given the party 10 days, and we have 3 more days for that particular opportunity lifeline to end. So in court today, the court EC is accusing the independent candidate who was disqualified of forging signature. In fact, I've been speaking with him, and he has a response for that.
We made our case, and we are hoping that the court would be able to understand what we are saying and how our matter really affects the democracy that we're trying to, further in this country.
One key thing that came up was when the EC's lawyers were responding to your case. They eventually accused you of sitting in your room and forging signatures. Is that really what happened?
I'm sure they are just talking. They are just trying to make their case. Obviously, that's not what happened, and they know that that's not what happened. So we've sent a video. As part of you realize that the judge said we had sent something that was bulky. We have videoed all our records. We have videos, and we have letters, and we have documents, and we have meetings. We submitted everything to the court, so the court will have a look at it and realize that we actually did everything in accordance with law.
So what do you expect on 14th of November when the court...
Well, once the judge goes through it, the judge would be able to make a decision.
You had the disqualified independent presidential candidate, Apia Dankwa, in that interview with our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa. Let's now turn our attention to sports, and Jones to the A, to the D, to the Z, to the I. Jones Aji is here with the very latest. Good afternoon to you, Jones. What's in sports?
All right, so we started from the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, where coach of the side, Dr. Prosper Nateogum, has blamed his side's defeat on tiredness after their home defeat to Kwando Heart of Lions in match day 9 of the Ghana Premier League. Ogum, who was speaking after the Lord, says their long travels affected the Lions game.
I think we look slow, we look very slow, we look very tired on the field. I think the stress of the journey, I mean, from Kumasi to Enyinase, about 9 hours. We played on Sunday, traveled another 10 hours or 9 hours to Accra to play on Wednesday. That was on Monday, and then from Wednesday, I mean, we had to travel all the way from Accra to Kumasi. So, I mean, it's been three games in 7 days, and you could see that they were tired. I don't believe in giving, I don't try to give excuses, but then it's so obvious. Look at from Kumasi to Enyinase, 9, 10 hours. And then, so I think it was fatigue that was on our part.
So Kotoko's defeat leaves them third on the league table. Still, in the Ghana Premier League this evening, Legon Cities will be looking to continue their fine form as they take on Young Apostles at the Legon Stadium at 7 p.m. this evening. That will do for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones, with the very latest in the world of sports. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. And in a bit, we'll bring you the campaign trail on the Star Midday News, where we touch base with where the leading contenders of the race are at the moment. But before we bring that to you, let's bring you some more stories in relation to what is happening in the country. We can talk about some persons who have hearing impairment and the difficulties they go through due to the challenges they have. There is more in the following report.
In Ghana, the perception that you have a disability and when you're entering the restaurant, there's a question mark on you already. So for the way that you hear you say, what is your order? It's quite cumbersome.
And this mirrors the plight of many in the Ghanaian society who have to struggle when communicating with others due to conditions like cerebral palsy, ALS, stroke, Down syndrome, or Parkinson's. For some, their situation poses significant barriers, but not Ajwa.
I know my potential. Whether I might be able to express it in a different manner, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be a lawyer. I mean, I've always believed that, in as much as being a person with a disability, my other senses are quite hyper.
To bridge the communication gap, the University of Ghana, Google Research Africa, and UCL's Global Disability Innovation Hub are collaborating on Tettey, which translates to Good Tongue, an AI-based initiative which aims at improving communication for individuals with non-standard speech patterns. Project lead, Professor Isaac Yafe, shares more insight on the project.
Just consider a situation where you pick your phone and then you're talking to Google Assistant, or you're talking to your phone and you can speak Twi or Ewe or Dagbani and the phone talks back to you. And that is where we're hoping to do. But the issue of people being marginalized is actually very, very critical, where they don't get a confidence to talk because people don't understand them. So we are looking at the possibility that if we can do this for the non-standard speech group, then it means that we are getting there. We are getting to a situation every Ghanaian can express himself.
A senior research scientist at Google Research, Catherine Tomanek, while expressing excitement at the partnership, noted that insights from Project Ephonia would be brought to bear to aid the researchers.
Meeting with the students to, help them share our insights and like what you do to train ASR models to work on non-standard speech. So we're going to be doing this. We're also going to be sharing insights and data collection. For example, how do you transcribe the best way that it's workable for a model? What sort of phrases do you have to look at in general? How much data you need to collect. So mostly like an advisory role.
The Global Disability Innovation Hub is confident with Ghana as a starting point, the success story can be replicated in other countries.
It's the first time somebody, company, it's the first time for automatic speech recognition that we're going to be building in with local communities. And I see it as a model that can easily go global. You think of a country like India. In Asia, how many languages do they have? There's only a couple of hundred speech and language therapists over there, so they have the same problem. So we can build technology, and we can build a model here in Ghana with our colleagues, Isaac and the team and University of Ghana, and that will, I think, go global.
But how beneficial will this be?
You know what, if I had the pom-pom, I'd do that. That would be so easier.
And that was GH1 and Star News' Joshua Kojo Mensah's report in relation to speech impairment. This is still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Time now to bring you the campaign trail. Now it's 33 days to the December 7 election. So welcome to the campaign trail on the Star Midday News, where we track where the contenders for this crucial polls are and let you in on what they have been up to. Well, last night the Vice President and the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, addressed the youth. He says the youth are his priority. In fact, he urged them not to allow former president, who is his main opponent, and flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, near the Jubilee House. According to him, the former president's inability to understand the relationship between digitalization and economy makes him unworthy to lead the country again.
Today, he says that infrastructure doesn't matter for the economy, that the economy is different from infrastructure. How can that be? I mean, really, for someone who has been president of Ghana to say the infrastructure doesn't have anything to do with the economy, then I understand why the economy collapsed under his watch. Today, he says there is no link between digitalization and the economy. Right? How can that be in this fourth industrial revolution? How can we have a leader who doesn't appreciate the value of digitalization in a digital global economy? He should not be allowed close to the presidency with that mindset. He should not be allowed close to the presidency with that mindset. A leader who doesn't understand digitalization in today's world wants to be president of a country like ours, trying to move forward into the future? No.
Well, it is a season of jobs. Trust that there will be a response in due course. There are already jabs coming from the camp of the NDC. We'll bring that to you in a bit. But the NPP candidate also says if given the nod in December, he will introduce a new electricity tariff regime that will ensure commercial consumers pay the same or lower rates than residential consumers.
We will also establish an SME bank, a bank for small and medium enterprises, to meet the special financing needs of SMEs, which employ over 80% of Ghanaians. Because SMEs employ over 80% of Ghanaians, we really need to focus on their needs if we are to create jobs. And so we are going to set up an SME bank to do this. We will also incentivize Ghanaian startups in selected strategic sectors with investment tax credits for the first 3 years of their operations. Startups go through a lot of problems, especially in their first 3 years of operation. They don't make money. They are really trying to get on their feet. And so we will give them investment tax credits for the first 3 years to enable them to stand on their feet, to be able to create the jobs that we want them to do. I'm also going to implement a shift in electricity tariffs the structure to a regime in which commercial rates are either equal to or lower than residential rates, never higher.
So you had the Vice President and flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's find out what is happening in the camp of the NDC. Well, today, its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, is in the OT region. But before leaving For the OT region, he participated in the Pentecostal and Charismatic Council Peace Campaign. At that particular venue, he asked that the military, as well as armed national security, should not be allowed to monitor the elections at the various polling centers and coalition centers. We'll bring you that sound in a bit. But before that, he has also criticized President Akufo-Addo and the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for snubbing the National Peace Campaign event by the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic churches. Have a listen.
Yeah, for presidential election. Now we were Northern region. And now I was saying Mayor Rally war Karaga Pentecostal and Charismatic Council and the Chief Imam Office. Every say Yemra Sa Jumedianity. Mija Meduma na me yan was and I'm a bank and a bayer. Because do what President Amma, Vice President Amma, Monson Amoshe Bambo for so. Anka Chese ye ka asumdwe e wa battle one. Anka se muja mu bibia na mumba. Na yebusa se adan na Omampeni abede chiamba. Yes, you know, yeah, youth program. Ochre se obeye mampenia. Senya obenya ejuma ama emabuna ye. Na abra NDC efia baimu. Na enkrofo eni ejuma ye ewo Ghana ha nyina na ye 8.4%. 8.4%. If you watch a mobet na so, sa unemployment figure no, if 8.4%, akodru 14.7%, akakakra medru 15%. Inti acha say, emabunu no more eneni ejuma ye. Inti anka obetimi aye hu bibia, anka if watch instead of say unemployment no be 8.4%, Afro Strong will do 14%.
So you had there the flag bearer of the NDC and former President John Dramani Mahama. So essentially, he was criticizing the decision of President Akufo-Addo and the flag bearer of the NPP not to honor the invitation of the Pentecostal and Charismatic Churches Peace Campaign. He says because they are the ones governing at the moment, it would have been proper and befitting for them to be there. And one of the reasons that the camp of the NPP gave for not participating or not being present in the person of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is that he was engaging the youth. And he also makes reference to our current status with regard to unemployment in the country. He talked about it being 8.4% at the time the NPP took over, and at the moment it stands at 14.7%. Let's go over the telephone and let's speak to Abdul Hanan Adam. He is embedded in the campaign team of John Dramani Mahama. They are currently in the OT region. Hanan, at the moment, what else has the former president been saying, apart from criticizing the decision of President Akufo-Addo and then his vice and flag bearer not to be part of that campaign, peace campaign?
Well, that day, the Mahama for Change campaign tour began here at Yakoye constituency, where the former president has been outlining his vision, which has been included in the party's manifesto for the 2024 general elections. Well, he promises that the OT region would have a regional hospital which would take care of a lot of health needs of the people, because over here, looking at the distances between each community, it takes about 6, 7, or 8 hours for residents of every community to travel to take medical attention in the Volta region. So he intends to construct a modern health facility that will take care of this critical health needs of the people in the area. He also promises that the next NDC government intends to prioritize jobs for the youth, because over here, a lot of the people are engaged in large-scale farming. They cultivate cassava, they cultivate a lot of, starch in this area, and he says that the NDC intends to take advantage of the situation here to ensure that the youth of the area have, jobs to do when the NDC government comes into power. That is where he criticized the Vice President for his neglect of the National Peace Campaign Initiative launched to attend to the Youth Connect program.
Thank you very much, Hanan Abdul Adam. He is embedded in the campaign team of John Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC, bringing us up to speed with what the flag bearer has been up to. Let's now return to the studio. Nanama Akwa is here with the very latest on social media. We'll do that in a bit. So yesterday, the flag bearer of the NPP and Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he engaged the youth with regard to the plans he has for the youth. He says, in fact, they are his priority. What has been the reactions on social media to this particular engagement?
It's been a mixed bunch now. So if I start with Success, he says, I have a place for you, mining sites. Then you have Abdul, who says, you are the best man for the youth. No youth in his right sense will vote against you come December 7. We also have Caroline, who says it's an interesting journey ahead. Then the next comment says, nah, we are with Alan Chiramartin. Raymond says, God will not even forgive me if I vote for you. Then we have Dwayne, who says, if you have something to do, do it now. George thinks that he sees Bawumia as giving Kamala Harris. He sees her in him. Then Kwerku says, when I talk to people and they still support this man, then they shock me all. Like I fear people who still support this man. So many comments, such a variety, but that's what we have time for now. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Danama Akwa, letting us know what exactly the reactions have been on social media to this particular engagement. But before we go, let's quickly squeeze in the butterfly movement, because the vice presidential candidate of the Movement for Change, Kwame Owusu-Danso, KOD, popularly called, has introduced the Ghana Rural Aging Support Program, GRASP, an ambitious initiative aimed at enhancing care for the elderly in rural Ghana. Speaking to an enthusiastic crowd in Bibiani in the Western North region, KOD emphasized that the distinct advantages of GRASP over the current livelihood empowerment against poverty program, highlighting its comprehensive approach to health and financial welfare.
Allowed in or around any polling stations, including at all collation centers.
If you look at all the political leaders who have come out with their own manifestos, I think it is quite axiomatic that the one plan that stands tall out of the rest is the Great Transformational Plan. And so we came to explain the Great Transformational Plan to the good people of Sefi, so that they will give us the mandate come 7th of December 2024. The policy prescriptions that we tabled for today is in respect of the Ghana Rural Aging Support Program, which is known as GRASP, which is in two parts. The first part being a special health insurance scheme designed specifically for the elderly persons who are living in the villages and they are above 60 and above. We have designed this policy specifically to cater to their needs. The first aspect of the policy is to address the issue of health. And so we are going to create special health insurance scheme.
You heard there the vice presidential candidate of the Movement for Change, Kwame Owusu-Danso. And that will be it for the Star Midday News edition of the Campaign Trail, where we track where the leading contenders for this crucial poll crucial polls are. We'll come your way again tomorrow. My name is Dedei Tettey. Thank you very much for your company. Have a good afternoon.